What if I told you that the dream of visiting America for millions in the Caribbean is about to be crushed, again? That with one single stroke of a pen, 10 entire nations might find themselves locked out of the United States under a brand new travel ban led by none other than Donald J. Trump. That's right, Trump is back in the headlines, and this time, the Caribbean is directly in his crosshairs. In a world where migration is already harder than ever and borders are increasingly seen as battlegrounds, this new policy is not just a travel restriction, it's a statement. It's controversial, it's political, and it's personal for millions. And if you're from the Caribbean, you might want to sit down, because your country could be on the list. In this video, we're breaking down Trump's shocking new travel ban policy, exposing the 10 Caribbean nations targeted, and diving deep into how this could reshape the geopolitical landscape of the Western Hemisphere. From tourism to student visas, family reunification to economic fallout, this isn't just another headline. This is a seismic shift, so grab a seat, hit that like button if you're outraged already, and let's expose the truth behind Trump's Caribbean crackdown. The new travel ban, what some are calling Travel Ban 3.0 Caribbean Edition, is a dramatic extension of Trump's original Executive Order 13769. Under the guise of national security and immigration reform, the proposed policy targets nations with what the administration is calling high visa overstay rates, weak diplomatic cooperation, and economic instability. But critics see something more sinister, a calculated move to suppress immigration from predominantly black and brown nations. The narrative is the same: fear, suspicion, and control. Trump's team argues it's about protecting American jobs and tightening border control, but at what cost? And why now? The criteria for the ban are opaque and subjective. Visa overstay rates, for example, are disproportionately calculated without considering the underlying socio-economic context. Weak diplomatic cooperation? That's a vague excuse that could be applied selectively to almost any country Trump doesn't like. Economic instability? Since when is poverty a national security threat to the U.S.? This isn't just policy, this is power in action. And here are the 10 Caribbean nations allegedly on Trump's hit list. Haiti is once again the poster child for U.S. immigration scapegoating. The Trump administration has consistently treated Haiti like a problem rather than a partner. Under this new policy, Haitian nationals would be barred from entering the U.S. under most non-immigrant visa categories. That means no tourism, no student visas, no temporary workers. Why Haiti? Trump has infamously referred to it in derogatory terms before, and this policy seems like a continuation of that disdain. The administration cites unacceptable overstay rates and inability to verify identities. But what they fail to acknowledge is the reason Haitians overstay: instability, violence, and lack of opportunity back home, often caused or exacerbated by U.S. foreign policy itself. This isn't immigration policy, it's targeted exclusion. The Haitian American community in the U.S. would face heartbreaking separations. Families torn apart, students with dreams of attending college in Miami or New York, denied. This move isn't about national security, it's about erasing Haiti from the American dream. Jamaica, a cornerstone of Caribbean tourism and culture, now faces a devastating blow. Under the proposed travel restrictions, even short-term B1/B2 visas would be severely limited. Jamaican professionals, artists, and students who enrich American culture in countless ways could soon find themselves shut out. The Trump administration argues that Jamaica has one of the highest overstay rates among Caribbean nations. But this data is misleading. Many Jamaicans stay a few weeks past their visa expiration due to emergencies, work, or transportation issues. It's not an immigration crisis, it's human nature. What's really behind this ban? Some say it's a way to retaliate against Jamaica's refusal to align with Trump-era foreign policy, especially its close ties with China and Venezuela. The impact would be massive: families disconnected, the Jamaican-American diaspora enraged, and an entire generation of students and workers denied access to opportunities. Despite being an economic leader in the Southern Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago has found itself on this blacklist. And the reason? According to Trump's team, a lack of cooperation in deportation enforcement and terrorism concerns. Yes, terrorism. This accusation is not only unfair, it's inflammatory. While Trinidad has dealt with isolated issues related to radicalization, there's no justification for punishing an entire nation of over 1 million people. Most Trinidadians who travel to the U.S. do so legally and return as required. By painting Trinidad as a national security threat, The Trump administration is weaponizing fear and feeding into Islamophobic narratives. It's a slap in the face to the hard-working professionals, engineers, and medical workers from T&T who help build America every single day. Guyana, a country on the rise thanks to its booming oil economy, has been slapped with the ban under the rationale of corruption concerns and weak border control. But this is hypocrisy at its finest. The U.S. has long benefited from trade and investment with Guyana. ExxonMobil has massive operations there. Now, just as Guyana steps into its economic golden age, the U.S. wants to shut its people out. It reeks of economic gatekeeping. The policy will disproportionately affect Guyanese students and skilled workers, many of whom contribute in sectors like healthcare and education. If this isn't economic sabotage dressed up as immigration reform, then what is? Yes, even the Bahamas, America's favorite Caribbean playground, is on the list. The reason? Inadequate border screening and high incidence of visa fraud. This is deeply ironic. U.S. citizens flood Bahamian resorts by the millions every year. But when Bahamians try to visit the U.S. for education, work, or family, they're suddenly too risky? After Hurricane Dorian, the U.S. turned away desperate Bahamian refugees seeking temporary protection. That set the tone. Now, this ban threatens to sever one of the most intertwined Caribbean-American relationships. It's short-sighted, cruel, and economically disastrous for both nations. St. Lucia has been flagged for economic instability and inconsistent diplomatic posture. Translation: they're not playing ball with Washington. This move is pure political bullying. St. Lucia has a population of under 200,000. To label them a national threat is absurd. But Trump's team doesn't care about nuance, they care about submission. St. Lucians, who often travel to the U.S. for medical reasons, tourism, and family, would be among the hardest hit. The policy would also tank St. Lucia's economy, which relies heavily on diaspora remittances. Dominica is being punished for daring to have a diplomatic relationship with China and for its citizenship by investment program, which Trump sees as a backdoor into the United States. But this is a gross mischaracterization. Dominica's CBI is regulated, legal, and beneficial to its economy. Blocking its citizens from U.S. travel over it is coercive and unjust. This policy will isolate Dominicans and sever important ties between the United States and one of the Caribbean's most environmentally resilient nations. It's economic punishment masquerading as immigration control. St. Vincent and the Grenadines has been labeled uncooperative by Trump's administration. Why? Because they refused to condemn Venezuela at the UN and have maintained independent foreign policy positions. This is not about migration, it's about allegiance. And the message is clear: obey or face exclusion. The policy would block Vincentians from applying for most visas, including seasonal agricultural work, something many depend on. It's a targeted economic blow disguised as national security. Grenada, another country with a CBI program, has been accused of visa abuse and insufficient information sharing. But let's call this what it is: the criminalization of economic independence. Grenada's relationship with the United States has always been rocky post-1983, and this ban seems like a revival of Cold War bullying tactics. The average Grenadian who wants to visit family in New York or work in Miami shouldn't be punished for their government's economic strategy. This policy will devastate families and deepen resentment toward the United States. And finally, Barbados, the cultural gem of the Caribbean. The rationale? Trump's team claims excessive visa overstays and non-cooperation on security protocols. But Barbados has one of the lowest crime rates and highest literacy rates in the region. This ban is baffling unless you understand the real agenda: total dominance over the Caribbean's migration policies. This move would be devastating to Barbadians who travel for medical care, education, and trade. It would cripple cultural exchange and hurt tourism on both sides. This ban would be implemented through executive action using Section 212 FF of the Immigration and Nationality Act, an incredibly broad legal tool that allows the president to bar entry to any group deemed detrimental to United States interests. No congressional vote, no public debate, just Trump, a pen, and a dangerous idea. The legal precedent was already set in Trump v. Hawaii in 2018, where the Supreme Court upheld a similar travel ban affecting majority Muslim countries. If he gets re-elected or even gains enough influence over the Republican-controlled Congress, this could become real policy within weeks. What's worse, there's little recourse for the affected nations. The ban would also be enforced through tightened visa issuance, data sharing demands, and economic leverage. This is soft power gone nuclear. So what now? If you're angry, good, you should be. This policy is not just an attack on Caribbean nations, it's an attack on human dignity, on equality, and on the very values America claims to represent. This is the moment to rise up, to speak out. Whether you're Caribbean-born, Caribbean-American, or just someone who believes in justice, your voice matters now more than ever. We cannot let racism, xenophobia, and political intimidation define United States immigration policy. We cannot let Trump or anyone decide that our families, our cultures, and our communities are disposable. If you're from the Caribbean diaspora, make noise. Flood your representatives with emails, calls, and petitions. Organize. Vote. If you're a content creator, spread this video. If you're a student, start conversations on your campus. If you're a worker, share this at your union meeting. Let this be the spark that ignites something bigger. Because today, it's the Caribbean. Tomorrow, it could be anyone. Smash that like button if you believe in fairness. Subscribe if you believe in truth. Drop a comment telling us which Caribbean country you're from and how this policy would affect you. Share this video like your community depends on it, because it does. Let's not wait for the ban to drop. Let's shut it down before it starts. We are many, we are loud, and we are watching. This is not just a video, this is a call to action. Now the question is, what will you do?